is going to be quick. Over past videos, I have insinuated that... No, I have outright stated I operate under the idea that YouTube is shadow banning all of my content from the start. That, based on previous experience with someone who is trying to find a specific city of heroes build information video, that they were not able to find until I actually hard linked them to the actual account. Since then, before that, I knew that Twitter was shadow banning me, could prove that with logs, pictures, uh, network traffic. I knew that Facebook had banned me. I was never able to quite prove that YouTube was banning me. It's one thing, unoptimized search terms, unoptimized links, and, could be an error in the, if you're sending a link over text message, it could be that the carrier has replaced a character because they think it's an emoticon. I mean, Discord does that all the time. You hand a link and it inserts a smiley face into it. And then today, I got an interesting email from YouTube. One of my streams had been flagged and pulled. Pulled under community guidelines that there was misinformation in it. Misinformation specifically about the 2020 presidential election. Now, the interesting thing is that the video didn't have any views. A lot of my streams say they don't have any views. So if no one was viewing the video, how was it flagged? Is Google just using voice search on every single video that gets uploaded? I mean, it's a distinct possibility. My channel has no footprint. So why was it banned? Why was the stream that I put up, why was it pulled? Now, I didn't contest the takedown of the video. I just stepped through the review process. No, I don't wish to leave any comment. Because if YouTube was really interested in the comments about the 2020 presidential election, they wouldn't be pulling videos of people asking questions. They wouldn't be pulling live streams of people asking questions, and that's the important thing here. People are asking questions over and over, and the answers that the likes of YouTube are giving don't add up. The evidence does not match the answers. Now, can I say that YouTube made a mistake by deciding to pull one of my videos? No. I don't have the interest. I don't have the time. I've got better things to do than to go after YouTube in a legal fight. I mean, if you're really interested in the 2020 election, you're not using YouTube as a source to begin with. And the same thing, if you're really interested in COVID-19, you're not going to Google for a news source. You're finding another news source because you already know that Google and YouTube are lying. You already know that they are obscuring the actual answers in favor of whatever their preferred message is. It does circle back around. The banning of this, pulling of this video, does circle back around to statements I've made before. I am actively looking for another platform to publish content to. The reason I publish to YouTube is that right now it has the best mix of the practical features that I want. It has an easy way to archive the videos for however long to go back and potentially find them. And it has a relatively simple to use, relatively easy to understand stream to this location format. From a practicality standpoint, YouTube's a hard act to beat. From a censorship standpoint, YouTube is a dramatically easy platform to beat. The question is, who's going to step up and publish the questions? Who's going to answer YouTube service for service, service level for service level? And right now, there just isn't anyone. Now, I kind of suspect, having just called YouTube out in this video, assuming they are using voice search or term recognition, since I definitely made sure to hit on the precise reasons of why they pulled a previous stream. And there's no motion, it's just a static screen this time, nothing but a voice going. It'll be interesting to see how YouTube/Google responds, because they haven't really thought this through. And so I'm going to connect a few dots here. Censorship only works when people don't know that they're being censored. Book burnings in Germany only worked when people didn't know what were actually in the books. In Russia, the propaganda of the state paper, it worked because no one who was reading that paper had access to any other information. You either read what the state told you to read, or you didn't read anything at all. Times have changed from that. Google and YouTube are not the authoritative source on any kind of news, discussion, opinion, or discourse. Other platforms have come along and usurped that. The only place that Google and YouTube lead, or the only segment in which they lead, is ease of use. And if that's the only barrier that's left, it's only a question of time before somebody, be it Rumble, be it Gab, be it some other service, gets their act together and is able to answer YouTube. What happens? What happens when more people are like Keith Fenner? Keith Fenner was a big YouTube star, had a massive following, and he dropped and he went to Rumble. Dan Bongino, big massive YouTube star, making YouTube a lot of money. He dropped and he went to Rumble. Now their formats, how they do videos, is not how I do them. I'm far more into technicalities, I'm far more into gaming. I'm a political commentator secondary. And that's what I don't think YouTube or Google truly understand, is that the vast majority of people who are using YouTube, they're not the primary target audience. They're secondaries. They're people who this is an offshoot. It's something else. Yes, there are people who do make their entire living depending on YouTube's ad revenue. But what happens when Google starts applying the censorship standards to those channels? They die, or they find someplace else to go. Sometimes their followers go with them. Sometimes it doesn't. But that's all I got for right now. I'll probably be back later, and I have no idea what I'm going to say next.